Juan Vargas' move from state senator to U.S. congressman left San Diego and Imperial County's 40th district without Senate representation since last November's election. 2 Democratic and 2 Republican candidates are running for his seat. Political science professor Phil Saenz recently moderated a pre-election forum with the candidates. And welcome, Professor. Let's talk briefly about the redistricting boundaries on who gets to vote tomorrow in this election. Who are we talking about?
Well, it's interesting because we're going by the old redistricting, and so people from Riverside are still voting all the way down in San Diego County and also Imperial County.
And it's the old redistricting.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you moderated a forum on Friday with all of the candidates except for one.
Right.
Let's listen to what the other 3 had to say.
My plan is we need to reduce taxes on everybody, and that's the way we do it. That's how we fund it, by bringing back prosperity. California has the worst unemployment in all the country. That involves you. When you graduate, you have 50% unemployment.
We also need to invest in the poor. A child cannot learn if he goes to school hungry, if he goes to school unclothed, if he doesn't have adequate housing. All that affects the performance of a child in school, and unfortunately, you know, we're still struggling with providing for the least fortunate in our state.
And young people are my #1 priority. There is a way to create the jobs for you. There is a way to decrease this interest rate and charge you 30% of the credit card. That is unbelievable that they could do something to the poor and the young.
So, Phil, they identified taxes as a problem, education as a problem, especially when it comes to Imperial County. It has the highest unemployment rate in the state. Did they say anything about how they were going to create jobs?
Well, I think you did hear the Republican candidate Gastelum saying that by increasing taxes, that's not the way to do it. In fact, in some of his message, he had said that jobs are being lost to Texas. Of course, we've heard about that as well. But no specific plans as far as how to create jobs other than by increasing taxes. You're not.
How about with education? Because we heard a little touch on that. A child who's hungry can't learn. Was there any specifics on education?
Well, they all were obviously very supportive of increasing funding in education, but you know, in order to do that, you need to have taxes. And so that was kind of perhaps where there was a misstep on part of Gastelum, in that he did not acknowledge that Prop 30 actually has helped education dramatically.
Correct. Now, the 40th district runs across the California-Mexican border. Did immigration status or reform come up at all?
Well, indirectly, and that the DREAM Act, I asked who supported the DREAM Act, and all 3 candidates supported the DREAM Act. And then also Ben Westwood made reference to his activities along the border in dealing with tariffs in Mexico.
And Ben, I understand a lot of people, Assemblyman, he actually is considered one of the favorites. Do you know why that is? Well,
obviously, he's running as a state legislator, so it's just a step up. He's got the name recognition. He's the only elected official that's running. He's ran in that district, half of that district, in the assembly seat. He's raised more money and definitely has a name recognition.
So a little bit more popular, would you say?
At this point, yes.
Yeah, okay. What about social issues? Was that discussed at all? Women's rights, I don't know, something very specific for that demographic?
Well, I use this opportunity to give them an opportunity to either say pass or against or for. And I asked about abortion, I asked about the death penalty, and women's rights did come up. And I would say that they were pretty partisan. The Democrats are supportive pro-choice, and the Republican candidate not so. And then the glass ceiling question was asked, and Ben Westwood pointed out that obviously he supports women's rights, and he had 2 women who were part of his chief of staff. And of course, Anna Nevenic, also very supportive of women's rights as well.
Okay. If no one gets 50% of the vote, which is required, they may have to have a runoff, and they will have to have a runoff in May. Do you expect that to happen?
I don't expect that to happen because I think most people are predicting that Wessel will win, but it's possible. Anything's possible, especially with the low voter turnout. We don't know what demographic's going to show up. If it's a conservative, older Republican vote, then we might have a runoff.
All right, political science professor Phil Saenz, thanks so much for talking with us.
My pleasure.